A band brake consists of a flexible band of leather, one or more ropes, or a steel lined with friction material. We use steel lining with friction material when we want to increase the life of the band brake. It holds the some part of the circumference of the drum. You can see that this is my band. This is the band which is holding about 3/4 of the circumference of this brake drum. Its application found in parking brakes of motor vehicles, winch machines used as lifting machine in construction works, and it is also used in clutches in automatic transmissions. Analysis of a band brake can be explained by taking one example. Here it is written that if a force of P is equal to 200 Newton, a force P of 200 Newton is applied at the to the handle of the bell crank lever. This is a lever. This lever is called bell crank lever. At load of a pull of 200 Newton is applied here. Now determine the maximum torque M that can be resisted. This is the torque M. This torque is the torque transmitted by the drum, and that can be resisted so that the flywheel is not on the verge of rotating clockwise. Here its direction of rotation is given that it is rotating, trying to rotate in clockwise direction. This is my flywheel. The coefficient of static friction between the brake band and the rim of the wheel is mu is equal to 0.3. Now the coefficient of friction between this belt material and this flywheel is given, that is 0.3. For analyzing this, we draw free body diagram of drum and free body diagram of this lever. So first let's draw free body diagram of drum. Now this is the free body diagram of drum. I have removed the supports, so you will get two tensions in that two part of the rope. One part of the rope here, one tension, and another part of the rope is this one, this tension in the direction of rope only. So this is the direction of rope, so you will have to draw tension in this direction, and this is the direction of rope, you have to draw tension in this direction only. Now because of friction, these two tensions are not same. The relation between these two tensions are given by T1 by T2 is equal to e raised to mu theta. Now T1 is tension in tight side of the belt and T2 is tension in slack side of the belt. One tension will be more. So here I assume that this T1 is more than T2. Now how can you determine which tension is more? It depends upon the direction of rotation of the wheel. So the first wheel when come in contact with the belt, when this wheel is rotating clockwise direction, then first it will come in contact with this part of the belt. So that part will be your tight side tension T, and the wheel where leaving this belt. So here you can see that when it after rotating, when it reaches here, it leaves the belt at that particular point. That tension will be T2, which is lesser than T1. So in this way you can determine which part of the belt is tight and which part of the belt is slack. Now here T1 is the tight side of the tension in tight side, T2 is tension in slack side, mu is the coefficient of friction, and theta is the angle of lap. Angle of lap is the angle for which this rope is in contact with the drum. So you can see this is contact, it starts contact at this point and ends at this point. So this total angle is about 270 degree, or you can say that it is 3 pi by 2. So this angle is 3 pi by 2. So known values here, value of mu is known, given 0.3, and value of theta you have determined that this is 3 pi by 2. Starts contact at this point and this ends contact here. So total angle of contact is 3 pi by 2. Now put this value. So T1 you will get T1 is equal to, if you simplify this value, you will get T2 is equal to T2 into 4.11. Now further, taking moment with respect to O. Now we can take moment O. Here O is a pin joint, so here you will get two reactions. I have not drawn those two reactions. It is because I am taking moment with respect to center O, so moment of those two reactions will become 0. So I am not taking those shown that two reactions. Now equate them it to 0 for equilibrium condition. We know that for equilibrium condition, moment with respect to any point of all the forces should be 0. So I am taking moment with respect to O and equating it to 0. Now there are two forces, T1 and T2, and one moment. All these three you have to take. Now I will be taking anti-clockwise moment as negative and clockwise moment as positive. So accordingly you will get T1 into R T1 is anti-clockwise with respect to O, anti-clockwise direction, and its radius, this radius T1 into this distance is equal to radius of the drum. So T1 into R minus T1 into R. This is T2 is clockwise with respect to O. So plus T2 into R, and M already given clockwise direction rotation. So plus M is equal to 0, or you can write that M is equal to T1 minus T2 by R. So here T1 minus T2 into R is called braking torque, and this braking torque should be equal to the torque transmitted by the by this flywheel. So when these two become equal, this will come in rest. So this drum will come in rest. So now put this value of T1 from here, you already obtained. This is 4.11 into T2 minus T2, this T2 into R. Now value of R is known. Value of R is given, this radius is given 400 mm, radius of the drum is given 400 mm. So this is equal to 0.4 meter. I have converted that into meter. Now draw free body diagram of lever. Now this is the free body diagram of lever. Now you have to take the same tension. This tension here you have taken T2. So in just opposite direction you have to take tension T2 here. And similarly you have taken T1 here upward direction. So you should take T1 here in downward direction, just opposite to the direction you have taken in first free body diagram. Now in this free body diagram again there will be two reactions. This is a pin joint. So here you will get two reactions, and I have not drawn those two reactions. Again I will be taking moment with respect to this point. So when you take moment with respect to this point, about this point you will get this relation, and this relation is P into moment of P with respect to this point, P into L. This is clockwise, so this is positive, equal to anti-clockwise moment. This T2 is anti-clockwise moment. So with respect to this point, T2 into A, and with respect to this point, T1 into B. Both are anti-clockwise, so they are kept in this side. So in this way you can determine T1 or T2. So now value of T1, you can put value of T1 here, and that value and value of A and B also given. So here L is equal to 1 meter. This total distance of point force P from this particular point, value of P, distance of P is 900 plus 100, that is 1000 mm, so 1 meter. A is equal to given 100 mm, so 0.1 meter, and this distance is given 300 mm, so 0.3 meter. All these values are given. Value of P is also given 200 Newton. Just put all these values. So when you put all these values, 200 into 1, so 4.11 into T2. So I have replaced T1 by this value, 4.11 T2, and this is T2. By simplifying that, you will get value of T2 approximately as 1.150 Newton. Now put this value of T2 here in M, so you will get the required bending, required torque, or maximum torque that can be resisted by the belt. So that is equal to 3.11 T2, 3.11 T2 into R, so 3.11 T2 into R equal to 187 Newton meter. So this brake can resist maximum moment up to 187 Newton meter. Thank you for watching this video.